Welcome back to Final Fantasy. Still going through this Chaos Shrine. This will be the third episode of going through this final dungeon. You know, this is part 4. I have this episode called Chaos Shrine Part 4 because the part 1 was way back early in the game. So this is Chaos Shrine Part 4, but this is the third episode of our final dungeon crawl, if you will. Last episode we had to have our rematches against Lich and Merilith, the Fiends of Earth and Fire, and they were tougher than the last time we faced them. So I mean, these have been the toughest boss fights of the game. You know, if for no other reason, just because these bosses are taking some hits. They're not going down so easily. All right, first things first, we need to heal up. Quick save again. I think everything else should be in order. I guess this is as far as their magic can go. Alright. Damn. That was a mistake. I shouldn't have used Thandaga. I meant to. What I wanted to do is go ahead and haste these two. So I don't think these status boosts can stack. So yeah, I'm not gonna cast Protect on them. Only haste. I just gotta be ready to heal. Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna haste Zess, because I want to make sure I have some haste. I think having haste will be more important for the next fight, and then even more important for the last fight. So you can go ahead and protect Zess. Probably should have hasted Zess. Honestly, Salber might have the better chance of dealing a bunch of attacks because I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure. Anyway, but I'm not gonna haste Zess. I'm gonna try and save those haste for later. Oh, well, 26 damage with Zess. Maybe I'll regret not hasting them. I mean, shit. Why am I not using some of this? I'm scared. I'm a little scared if I do this, it might. Yeah, I'm a little scared if I do that, it might take away their protect and haste. Maybe this protect doesn't help his against his magic attacks. I really don't know. I assume they did. I do think they do, because no, they did, right? I do think they do. Yeah. I guess No Frost would be even better for specifically ice attacks. He is doing some ice attacks. So that probably would have been smarter than just doing Protect, I guess. Damn it. Damn. Protects really helped me right there instead of just doing No Frost. And this fight's for the fights I should be dancing around listening to the music. The victory anthem, but you know, it's like the second time we've beaten them, so it's kind of like not as big of a deal, but I mean, it is as big of a deal in terms of those are just straight up harder fights. Treasure this way? Yeah. I had encounters off the whole time. What if I... Okay. I've had encounters off ever since the end of last episode. What if it just didn't let me do the Kraken fight just because I had encounters off? And I was like, where's the Kraken? What the fuck? Solver gets a level up. 4 HP, 1 agility, 1 stamina. Just regular straight up vampires. Like, yeah, that's what was posing as a boss earlier in the game, right? In the Cavern of Earth. Okay. Masamune! Sephiroth's weapon. Oh, shit. Well, who should I put it on? Who should I give this to? Legendary katana without match. Hell yeah. I'll give it to you, Zess. Oh, you. Fuck you. I should have checked it. I'm pretty sure I'm out of fire, alright? Or am I? I might not be. I should have checked. Cause fuck these dudes. And now Zest is all fucked up. Oh, Zest is down for the count. Just go. Use your Fyra. Can't help but feel like fire was a waste now. And I feel as if I've never been silenced in this Let's Play. But surely that can't be right. And we got ambushed. Damn it. Zest, 9 HP, 1 strength, 1 intellect, 1 luck. Flow, 7 HP, 1 strength, 1 intellect. Daewoo, 28 HP, 1 strength, 1 intellect. Alright, Tiamat. Let's get it. Yeah, I was kind of taken back to find out Tiamat was a girl, and I did do a little bit of research on that. And yeah, apparently, like, the actual mythological Tiamat is known to be a goddess, so female. So I guess Tiamat's always been female, but yeah, I just always assumed Tiamat was male, I guess. It's not like I put too much thought into it. Okay. Just put up that Protera again. And you haste my boys. Well, you're a boy too, Daewoo. But no, you're all men now. You all have grown up into the brave men and women that you are now, and it's just hard for me, your father figure, to treat you as such, because you'll always be my little babies. I stupidly did Protera. Yeah, I stupidly did that, actually. I fucked up. Now I have to do an extra haste. Oh, wait. So they do stack. Here I am, episode 26 in this Let's Play. Really, like, probably what I'm guesstimating is the second to last episode. Maybe this might still be the finale, honestly. I don't know. We'll see. And I'm just now finding out, no, these do in fact stack. Wow. Okay, they stack, y'all. Okay, that's fucking great to know now. Ow. There it is. Possess was dealing off some big hits. Thank God I got that Masamune. We'll let the song play out since we re-defeated all 4 fiends. Do you a little dance. Break it down. That might just be the end right there. I think it is, actually. Of course, there's still going to be some more encounters in here. We just gotta look around. Maybe there's a chest here. I don't fucking remember. Probably not, though, actually. Actually. I'm always saying actually. Just one of the words I'm always saying. Bitch. Maybe we can get that cheeky last level up with Sauber. There might be a chest over here, for real. Like, for real, there might be. I don't know. That was a Thunder Aga. Didn't do a whole lot, considering it was an Aga spell. Sauber, probably the last level up of the game. And he got 4 HP, 1 strength, 1 intellect, 1 luck. Alright, yep, this is it. Do you remember me? I was once the most renowned knight of Cornelia. 2,000 years from now, you killed me. I am Garland. Oh, you did defeat me then. But the four great forces saved me by sending me back through time. Once here, I sent the four fiends into the future, where they shall once again use the four great forces to send me into the past. In 2,000 years, I will remember none of this. But I will be reborn again here. So even as you die again and again, I shall return. Born again into the endless cycle that I have created. And since I'm still using the NES music, we get this theme, but that's another change, I guess, for the PlayStation version. Really, the Wonder Swan version. Because the PlayStation version was just a port of the Wonder Swan version that, again, I'm not sure. I think that was just a Japan exclusive console. But for that version, there was a brand new track for this fight, and it was pretty dope. Alright though. Here we fucking go. So I just learned 10 minutes ago that spells can stack. That's great. Ow, that really hurt. Poor fucking Solver. Oh, hold on, wait. Hold on, wait, pause. Just because. I thought the only difference between Protect and Protera was that Protect just puts Protect on one party member, where Protera did it for everybody at once. But there might actually be more than that, because everybody's status says Protera. It doesn't say just Protect, it says Protera. So that tells me that Protera actually raises your defense more than just Protect. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'll do then. This is the last haste. What the fuck? Aha! Might have been the very first time I've used Hilaga. Man, I'm going for this. Damn, shit. You're a beefy boy, Chaos. I hope he can survive it. Okay, he didn't attack him. Damn, man. Almost out of flares. It's fucking so close. So, 19 health left for Solver. Good thing he's got a Kiraja coming his way. You are a beefy boy, Chaos. A beefy, beefy boy. It's a good thing I just saved all my best shit for you. Everybody's attacking with some here. Last flare. Ugh. Beefy fucking boy. I'm out of flares. I'm just out. I'm fucking out. Got these Firagas left. Come on. Oh, there goes Daewoo. I can't. Okay, I thought for sure Daewoo was done for. God! I'm just running out of shit. Last August spell, so after this day he didn't have much going for him. I cannot believe he's still kicking. Of course. I did it! Zest with the final blow with his Masamune. Yeah, that final dungeon, they definitely turned up the difficulty for the bosses. And particularly Chaos here. The time loop was severed at last. The endless struggle that raged over 2,000 years had ended, and peace prevailed once more. The light of the four crystals restored the forces of wind, water, earth, and fire. It was a mere trick of fate that had given rise to the chain of Garland's wrath. But magnified by the four forces meant to guide our world, that trick of fate also gave birth to the fiends. Monsters had run rampant as the world sank into darkness, but all that is now past. With the four forces flowing as they were meant, the warriors prepared to cross time and return to the world they knew, a world where Princess Sarah, Queen Jane, and even Garland himself await. It's like, yeah, like Garland's good again now. Like, because it is interesting. I wonder what made Garland so upset to betray the kingdom of Cornelia and steal the princess and do all that. When was this fateful day that sent time spiraling? When was this fateful day that sent time spiraling into a loop? None can say. It seemed the cycle into which time had fallen would last forever, but the bravery of 4 young travelers changed that. They took the forces that filled the world with darkness and used them to bathe the world in light. None will ever recall the struggle the 4 endured, for the breaking of the chain means that it never existed. But within the tales of fantasy that people tell, the memory of their deeds lives on. Tales of dwarves and elves and dragons and shining civilizations that reached for the heavens even as they fell, and now their return is upon us. With the memory of their struggle buried deep in their hearts, they will quietly watch over our world. Remember always that the forces of the world must be used as they were intended, that the power of light must never be used for dark, and that the true crystals reside in your heart. All this talk of darkness, light, and heart, getting kind of Kingdom Heartsy. For you are the warrior who crossed time. You are the bringer of light. So yeah, it just seemed like the world was destined to go through this constant time loop. So in my head, it's kind of like, interesting. I wonder where these warriors of light got sent from. Where did they come from? They're the ones that came into this time loop and broke it. So it's kind of like they were never a part of this time loop to begin with, but they were able to show up, insert themselves in the time loop and break it, and restore the world to light. For they are the warriors of light. But that was Final Fantasy 1. Again, originally a Nintendo Entertainment System game, NES, that came out in 1987. I mean, for a 1987 NES game, it's pretty good. This was the Pixel Remaster version. A lot of new bells and whistles, and I don't know, I wasn't always vibing with some of the changes here. So I'm just a picky whiny bitch. Like, I was totally cool with some of the changes, like the cheats they added in, as I call them, the being able to turn off encounters and all that. Like, I thought that was cool. I was all for that, but then like I see that, oh, they've added high potions and Phoenix Downs and Ethers and all that into the game. I don't really love that, because I wish they would have just kept it faithful in that sense. And well. But ultimately, you know, I've only played this version. I've only played the PS1 version. Going forward, I would stick with this version, just probably because of being able to turn off encounters alone. If I want a harder experience, I feel like, yeah, because this game was easier than the PS1 version. If I want a harder experience, though, I can just mess with turning the amount of experience and even Gil down. And that will certainly make the game harder. And, well, I don't know, man, like, the game was easy until the final dungeon. The final dungeon kind of threw a wrench into things. The the final dungeon, those bosses, especially the final boss of this game, they weren't exactly a walk in the park. So I don't even know anymore. But what a fun time. You know, Final Fantasy 1's a very simple game when it comes down to it. I mean, again, 1987 NES game. But it's still fun. It's still... It's a simple game, but it's still a deep game for the time. And it's still a deep enough game in general. I've always, you know, I've always been charmed by this game. I think the way that this game is a puzzle, although it's given me frustration and made me lost, especially my first playthrough of it, but it, you know, dealing with the puzzle the world gives you, you know, it's fun to try and figure out. The combat is simple, but it's still fun. Final Fantasy 1, simple but fun. Definitely just all around easier than the PS1 version, and I've never played it, but of course also the NES version. And those versions being challenging like they are, that does add fun. At least to some people, because you really do have to, you have to take more care into taking care of your resources and planning what you're going to do in those games. And things just feel more high stakes at that point. You're like, you literally are dungeon crawling in those older games, and you gotta... My experience with it, I would go in a dungeon, I would go get through it to a certain point, to fight everything that got in my way, get some treasure, and then at a certain point, I would see my resources are getting low, I need to start getting out of there. Turn around, leave. I would run from the battles I could, but you couldn't run from everything. Some things you just had to fight. Leave the dungeon, make it back to a town, heal up. I got all this gil that I can now spend from doing all those battles, but you don't got enough gil to get everything you want. You gotta choose between the magic spells, which ones of those you want, and equipment and weapons, and you just gotta manage your money wisely, pick and choose what you want. And there is fun in all that. There is fun in all that management. And the management wasn't as, you know, the management wasn't nearly as manageable. You know, the management wasn't nearly as strong in this game. But again, like, if you want that to be more difficult, more of a challenge, mess with the gil slider. So yeah, I can appreciate that. I wish they could, you know, I think that's another thing. Like, again, like how I said, besides from like the cheats they give you, basically, I wish they could have made this game as faithful as possible. And like, that's another thing. It definitely seemed like this game was all around just easier, maybe even so much easier than the original game and its PS1 counterpart. And I wish, you know, it's easier said than done, I suppose, maybe. But I wish they could have had the difficulty be as close as they could have to what the NES and PS1 versions were. I don't even know how close necessarily the NES versions. I don't even know how close necessarily the NES and the PS1 versions are to each other in terms of difficulty. I really don't know. There's a lot of factors that go into a game that can make it difficult or not. The biggest difference between the NES version and the PS1 version is the PS1 version fixed all the bugs the NES version had. And there was a lot of bugs in that. A lot of shit that just didn't work in the NES version. And just fixing all that stuff can make a big difference. And if anything, I guess you would think it would make the PS1 version even easier. But I digress. Ultimately, like, between this, the PS1 version, I'll continue to play this. Man, what a... Like, again, like I was saying, my PS1 playthrough 4 years ago, that was 51 episodes. There was a few 30-minute episodes. Like, I was... So maybe it should have just been 48 episodes, but what, you know, this was just 26, so it was fucking over 20 episodes shorter, which is crazy. And all that's just because the game's easier, because I was able to turn off encounters, but especially because the game was just easier. And also because I knew what I was, you know, this was my second time playing Final Fantasy 1, so I just knew where to go and what to do more. Like I don't need to be playing this game for 50 episodes. You know, I don't need this a Let's Play of Final Fantasy 1 to be 20 episodes longer just because stuff got fluffed out to be longer because I'm running in and out of dungeons multiple times because my resources are so limited, and all that could just be so much circumvented if I could just turn off encounters. You know, like I was saying earlier, like I could... You know, I'll say this. I would like to play, like if I ever... It'll be years and years and years if I ever do, but like if I ever got a gaming PC and I emulated the NES version of Final Fantasy 1, but with I would like to put in, I guess, a couple mods in. One, the biggest one, being able to turn off encounters, and the other one, to be able to run in that game. And those really are the only big two. Those probably, if I could do that, I would do that. And I'm not saying that would be the ideal way for me to play Final Fantasy 1, but I would like to experience that and see how I like that. Play Final Fantasy 1, the original Final Fantasy 1, but I can turn off encounters when I want, and I can run. You know, I'd really love to experience that one day. That'd be neat. But the end, indeed. That was Final Fantasy 1. I would have never thought I'd be done with this in a little less than 2 weeks. Could have finished this sooner than that, really, but that's life. But yeah, I finished this Let's Play in a little under 2 weeks. Never would have thought it would have been 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. But 2 weeks, no, 20 episodes, shorter than my Final Fantasy Origins version that I played 4 years ago. Never would have thought that. But here we are, but Final Fantasy 1 is still a jolly good time. Yeah, I really enjoy Final Fantasy 1. And, we're ready to move on with the marathon, huh? Next up will be Final Fantasy 2. Save complete. Completed game data. I mean, it's really... Yeah, sure, I guess. It's not like it really matters. It's not like some new post-game stuff. It's going to be unlocked now because there's no new post-game stuff for this. But I got that star. Up, and I got that trophy. But yeah, Final Fantasy 1, I really like Final Fantasy 1. It's like I said, it's a jolly good time. And we move on to Final Fantasy 2 next in this marathon. So until we meet again in Final Fantasy 1, I don't know what form you'll be in when that day comes. But until then, and until the next Let's Play.